guys, I'm your personal excellence coach Anushka, and today I'm in connection with Radhika Sahu and her series. And today the topic of her series is how to cope with anxiety. What are the coping mechanisms? What is anxiety? What toolbox can be used? So I think during this pandemic, there are a lot of people who are feeling anxious because of the uncertainties. They never predicted that they have to be at home for so long without any exposure from the outer world, and this is something that is making people very, very anxious about. So I think there's always a way out because these things are temporary and they will never, be permanent, and let's make sure that they are not permanent. So if I talk about anxiety, what is anxiety? Let's know about that. Anxiety. So anxiety is a persistent and excessive and intense fear that we have about everyday situations. See, to feel anxious in stressful situations is completely normal, but when you feel anxious in normal days without any trigger, that is somewhere you need to seek a professional and work on yourself. So if I talk about anxiety, it's just a normal natural process to stress. In other words, it's a normal emotion that causes an increased alertness, fear, and physical signs. And there are a lot of physical signs such as you get a rapid heart rate, you have pain in your chest, you have a sweaty palm, you feel breathlessness, you have aches, you have muscle pain, and a lot more things you know about. But I talk about if anxiety is creating lot of hindrance in your everyday activities and it is creating a hassle for you to work effectively, then you must follow some strategies. And now I'll start with few strategies to always keep in mind so that you can cope with anxiety. Number 1, identify and learn to manage your trigger. Guys, it's very important to know your trigger. Now, what is the trigger? From where this anxiety is rooting? This trigger can be your financial stress, it can be from your personal thing, it can be from your career, it can be from any other breakdown. So always know your trigger. Once you know the cause, you can always work on the problem. Number 2, question your thought pattern. Questioning your thought pattern is very important. Why we do it is because it's very important, to test your thoughts, to what extent they are logical, to what extent they mean to you, to what extent they are in fact real, right? Find the truth so that you can go back and have control on the situation. Always make sure that you question your pattern, because the first pattern you welcome to your mind is negative pattern, and that is wrong because it distorts the severity of the problem. जितनी हमें प्रॉब्लम लगेगी इतनी है you will see the problem so bigger than the picture. Next thing, practice focused deep breathing. Deep breathing is something that will ease you from anxiety. You can have 4 deep breaths in, then 4 deep breaths out in 5 minutes, and this cycle will help you to overcome that. Deep breathing is something when you focus on your breath, how deep, how intense it is, that will ease you, right? The next, if I talk about, and it's very important thing, is to use aromatherapy. Aromatherapy, if you guys know about, it's very easy and it's very feasible at home. You can have scented candles, you can use different oil, you can use different fragrance and candle. And the aromatherapy is something that gives you a very, very soothing effect and it relaxes you. Along with that, I would always say to the clients that, you can have a slow instrumental music. That is something that will keep you relaxed and you can just go with the flow. This is something that will really work. Next thing, go for a walk, at least a 15 minutes walk. Get out of your bed, guys. It's very, very important to get out of your comfort zone. Have a walk, do yoga, do meditation, but keep yourself engaged because it's great and a big time for you to take your focus from your mind to your body. Rather than focusing on your mind thoughts and the negative patterns, then you can take your body out and focus on your body, because your body needs to breathe, it needs to rejuvenate. So just go out, have a walk, and then come back. It always depends on what time you want to go. There's no force that you have to do it for 1 hour or 5 hours. It always depends on your time span. Next, write down your thoughts. This is very, very important. Why I ask you to write down your thoughts is when you write down your thoughts, you will feel the releasement of stress. Tension gets released. When you write, you have a connection between a pen and a paper, and it sometimes makes you offload the stress. Always write down what you feel. Anything which you can't speak to any other person, you can always write it down. Journal them. That is something that will get down, that takes away your anxious thoughts away from you. Just release them. This is one of the very great way, to just get out of this spiral of anxious thoughts. Next is change your diet. Now, change your diet is all about, you can take new supplements, change your diet. You can have, this is a very long-term strategy. When you change the diet, it will almost take 3 months to have its effect, but it's really long-term. You can have kava, you can have green tea, you can have dark chocolates, and I think you should take this in moderation, because everything in moderation is helpful, not more than that, right? Then keep your body and mind healthy. This is very, very important, guys. Have healthy sleep, eat healthy, you need relaxation, you need proper sleep. Get connected to people who motivates you, who puts you above everything, who don't make you feel less than anyone. It's very important to connect with bunch of people, quality over quantity. We don't need bunch of people. We need few dear ones that will help us in our low times or less times when we feel anxious thoughts. Then after all this, I would ask you that follow these strategies. This will somewhere makes a difference in your life. Then following this, I will give you 9 things that you can say to an anxious person. See, and anxiety, either it can happen to you or the person next to you. So you must always know that what you can help with the person with anxiety. If you are dealing with anxiety or an anxious person, here are few statements that you can always say to them. Number 1. So I've jotted down these points and I'll say that to you. I hope it helps. First, I'm here with you. You are safe. Second, tell me about it. It's not about it you have to tell about all the anxiety, just talk to them. Third, what would you like to say to your worry? It's very important to do that. 3, what might your worry say back and tell that? 4th, let's draw it. Ask them to doodle, ask them to draw anything. What does it feel like in your body? Where is the worry? How big it is? Ask them to, tell how much big is the worry, right? Then, focus on your breath. Ask them, just focus on your breath. Next, what's something we could do to feel better? So I tell you why we say such statements. The basic element behind these statements is to deviate their mind. Just take their focus from anxiety to some other thoughts. Just make them deviate, make them engaged in something so that they feel busy, right? So that they are not stuck at those anxious thoughts. Then the other thing coming up is very interesting about the anxiety coping statements. Now I'll talk about some anxiety coping statements, and these are the mantras and the positive affirmations you can say to yourself. Now these affirmations are just said by you. If you say them, that will make somewhere feeling, relaxed, and you feel more happy about it. That, you have done it and you can overcome it, because it's something you can survive. So number 1, I allow myself to slow down my breath. Slow down your breath. Everything comes to ease with that. Next, quieting with this feeling won't help. I will relax and I allow it to pass. Let this feeling go on its own. When it comes, it goes as well. You don't have to welcome it for so long. It depends on you, how much you take it seriously. Third, I tune in my body and I release the tension from my muscles. During the anxiety, you feel that there's a lot of tension in your muscles. So allow that tension to go away. Allow that. Fourth, I am okay. My anxiety is not always rational. Understand this. Your anxiety cannot always be rational. It cannot always be meaningful. It can't always be logical. That's why I always ask people to test them, to feel that how logical and to what extent it is relevant. Next, I am stronger than I give myself credit for, and I always survive this. Give confidence to yourself that you can survive with this anxiety. Anxiety is normal. It tells me it's time to use my coping strategies. So when you get that alert alarm, so it's an alertness alarm. When you get that you are having or you are facing anxiety, you can use all the coping mechanisms that I told you. Use any of them. That will of course make you shift from situation A, that is your reality, to situation B, that is your desired outcome, to feel relaxed. Next, this is a false alarm. I am safe. Tell yourself that you are secured, you are safe, you are healthy. Next, I am okay and it will be okay. Tell yourself that you are okay. Last, this feeling will pass, it isn't temporary. Trust me guys, nothing lasts forever. Means the anxiety, your mental health problem, your negative thoughts, they will always stay until and unless you want them to stay. You have to get away from them. You have to have that ability to release them, because we are the ones who makes them stuck. We welcome them and we never allow them to go. Have the ability to offload them. Just let them go away from you. Then the last thing I'll talk about is anxiety toolbox. I think this toolbox is very, very important for you, so that you have right away like the first aid box you have when you feel anxiety. Number 1, use your breathing techniques. It's like a gist I'll give you again in short term, and that could help you even more. Breathing techniques. Deep belly breathing, focus on your breath. Next, get at least 7 hours of sleep. That is very important for your mind to stay healthy, to be at ease. Be aware of your unhealthy thoughts and feelings. If you get those thoughts, write them. Next, use mantras and affirmations. The ones I gave you before, all the coping statements you can always say to yourself to feel at good place. Drink a lot of water. Water is something that keeps you fresh, stay hydrated, and please, please, please avoid caffeine. Don't overtake caffeine. Last, use essential oils, and more than that guys, be kind to yourself. Trust me, some situations just come to give you lessons and they go away. Have a control over your anxiety. Don't let anxiety trap you in a spiral that will take you to nowhere. It's very important that you have to overcome this anxiety and think about the things that you can control, so that you feel more empowered, that you can control things. Think about everything that you can control, and this will something deviate your mind. And I hope that all the coping mechanisms, the toolbox, what is anxiety, all the strategies will help you cope with anxiety. More power to you, and all the happiness sending I'm all the way.